Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. This week we're doing my skincare routine, my updated skincare routine. It has changed a little bit. There might be products that you've seen in other videos in the past. Yeah, it does change quite regularly, but I feel like right now that I'm in South Africa, I didn't bring so many products with me, and so I'm really just using a few over a long period of time. And so this is my skin with nothing. I just washed it. This cleanser from Rose. I really like this cleanser because first, there's no packaging to it. You can take it on planes. It's not like it won't be a liquid. This is the charcoal and bergamot one, I think, and this is the one for like more like mixed skins. So if you have dry skin, they have other ones for dry skins or for sensitive skin. I find that this one works for me. I would be very interested in like maybe trying another one in the future, just to see how my skin reacts. I think this works fine because then I hydrate and it doesn't like strip my skin away. It does foam, so you just like put it on your hands, a little bit of water, and it just foams, and it's so nice that it's in a solid shape. It is my first time solid face cleanser that I've ever tried, and honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I usually have it in my shower, so I shower in the morning, I'll wash, and then in the evening sometimes I'll wash again, depending if I wore like sunscreen or makeup. But if I kind of left my skin just with the products that I had, sometimes I just will rinse my face with water, so I use it 1 to twice a day. The next thing I do is that I put on this organic rose water, also from Rose. They also have rosemary water, which I really liked. They have a bunch of different ones, and I usually just do like this. And having something like water on your face is actually really good to not have your face completely dry before you apply a moisturizer or an oil or a serum. The moisture is going to help with the other products that you put after to get absorbed. So right after that, I use this hyaluronic acid serum, and this has rose quartz in it. Like there's like rose quartz in the bottle. I don't have so much of it. This is from Pore, and this actually ran out pretty quickly. I don't know how much of it you're supposed to use. I usually use maybe 2-3 drops, it depends. And I just go like this, and I go over my face like this. And it's very watery. It has a slightly jelly texture, but very more so like really watery. There's also like flower water in it. So yeah, I think I'm curious to see what, because I'm running out of it soon, to see if my skin notices it, or if I notice something in my skin after I run out of it. Then I use the Eye Contour Serum by Rose. This is a new product they sent me, and I just really like it. It is so fresh and hydrating, and if you're under a high, is very dry, maybe you'll want to add something a little bit more like moisturizing and rich. But for me this works, and it could help definitely with like depuffing the eyes in the morning, because the little like metal ball is always so like fresh and cold. And this is actually the first like eye product that I constantly use, because I just enjoy how easy it is to apply, and just like how like fresh it feels. It's like an eye massage. And then for moisturizer, I used the 100% organic cold pressed rosehip oil. I've used the jojoba oil before. I really like both. I think rosehip is good for scarring. So right now, as you can see, I have some breakouts, but it's more scars than actual breakouts, which is good considering I'm like in my mood cycle, and that's usually the time where I get the most breakouts. And you can see how like it just gives life to my skin. So for sunscreen, I don't wear sunscreen every day. Some people say you should, some people don't believe in sunscreen at all. I just like to use it when I know I'm going to spend a lot of time in the sun, but honestly, most of the time, I think what's best in sunscreen is just putting your face in the shade or even your whole body. So I always wear like a hat or a cap if I'm like for extended periods of times in the sun, like if I'm hiking or if I'm going to the beach. So yeah. But this is the one that I've been using. It's the Muti one, Face SPF 50. I've used this also on parts of my body like my shoulders or my neck area, places that tend to get a lot of sun if I'm out like for a long time. And this one is water resistant and ocean friendly. And honestly, I'm just gonna apply it because so you can see. I just add it, and it just, honestly, it's just such a thin layer, and it's not a sunscreen that makes your skin white and everything. Honestly, it's been one of my favorite sunscreens that I've ever tried. I had the 30 SPF that I completely finished last year, so I kept the 50, and I feel really grateful that I have a 50 SPF now for when I'm here. So yeah, this is the sunscreen that I use, but as I said, I'm not like religious about it, and I don't want to get into a debate about whether you should absolutely wear or not. As I said, I try to keep my face in the shade whenever possible, or just wear a hat or something to protect. In the evening, my routine is exactly the same, and then either I use the jojoba oil, no, the rosehip oil again, or jojoba oil. I have a bottle of jojoba oil here. This one looks kind of busted, but it is organic jojoba oil, 100% pure by Avril. This is a brand that I order on Katsudomi. Yeah, that's also a shop where I go for skincare when I'm in Europe. Now that I'm here, I won't order on there, but when I go home in the spring, I'm definitely gonna make an order there and maybe get a few skincare things. But this is something that Ross uses a lot, the jojoba oil, and also the one from Rose. They also have one. I like this because it's glass, so it's more recyclable. However, the jars are really heavy, so if you're traveling light, those might not be the most ideal ones. That's the only downside to them. Anyways, let's get to my evening. I just got sidetracked big time. In the evening, sometimes I'll use the Purify Night Serum by Rose as well. And this one is castor, nigella, and tea tree. So this one has a little bit of essential oil. So know your skin. Some skins do well with it, some don't. I find that this one is really nice when my skin tends to get oily or break out. Right now in the summer, because I'm like out a lot and in the sun, I find that my skin tends to be more like on the dry side and not like very oily. But in the winter, if I tend to like break out or at different times of the month, I find that this one is really nice to wear at night as well, and it just smells really good. So yeah, these are like my go-to. Now let's get into like special treatments for the skin, like masks. I don't do them a lot, but every now and then, I wish I would like make a ritual that at least like once to twice a week I'd mask. But honestly, I'm not that diligent with it. So there's two. There is again one from Rose, which is the green clay. It's 100% green clay. I mean, clay masks are really nice. They just like tighten your skin a lot, and if you have imperfections, they'll work really well and just like reduce like any like redness. So this is what I like to use when my skin feels like a little inflamed and oily, which hasn't been the case much lately, so I haven't been using that much. But as I said, maybe in this winter, usually that's when my skin tends to have more of those issues. And this is really easy, so it's just like clay powder, and you just have to mix it with water. You could mix it with the rose water. You could add some drops of oil in it to have it a little bit more moisturizing. You could add essential oils to it. So like you can really make your own recipe because it's a pure ingredient. And then for a more moisturizing mask. I've been using this Elene one for a really long time. I've talked about it in previous videos before. I always feel like conflicted about sharing this one because it is a very expensive product. Once this is over, I'm gonna look for a more affordable alternative. This was gifted to me, by the way. Like, I wouldn't spend that much money on a mask, at least right now where I'm at in my life. Despite the fact that this is an expensive product, it is a product that I've been really loving, that has been really effective on my skin, that's been really hydrating. It's a moisturizing facial mask with hyaluronic acid. You won't really see it on your face, so it is white, but once you put it on, it just leaves this like very transparent like glow, and you could actually go to bed with it, which I've done a few times, and it just really leaves my skin very, very moisturized. But as I said, I'm gonna try and look for like a more affordable option whenever I'm running out of this one. I should actually use it more because I've had it for a while. And then finally, for exfoliation, I use this scrub powder from Plum Cores, which is from a brand called Make Sense, and it's 100% plum, like scrubbed like plum cores, and it just like comes out as like this powder. And what I really like about it is that this can be mixed up with like my cleanser. So sometimes when I cleanse but I also want to exfoliate, I just add this to my cleanser and just like do both at the same time. And sometimes I want to have more like an exfoliating mask, so I can add this to my whatever mask that I'm doing. So this is actually a really cool product because, again, like, it's a one ingredient thing, so there's no like crap in it. You can like really adapt it to what you want in the moment, which is really cool, as opposed to have like an exfoliating cleanser and then an exfoliating mask and then like, you know, like all of these different things. Like, you can just have that and add it to already products that you have. So for the body, there's really little, but I've been using this massage body brush on my body. I don't use it every day. I haven't built like a routine where I like remember to do it every day. But whenever I feel like it and I remember to do it, I brush my body with this before I head into the shower. To moisturize my skin, I either use jojoba oil or I use this winter body oil by Rose, which is rhodiola, borage, almond, and cedar. And this is a big bottle that I think is going to last me for a while. I find that like my elbows and like knees and yeah, just like random places like that, my legs, sometimes my feet get a little bit dry, and so I like to hydrate with some oils. Before I wrap up this video, I want to talk about Squarespace, our sponsor for the day. Squarespace is the place that I went to create my first website, and it's been such an enjoyable and easy process. As I said in my last video, one thing I'm really excited about this year is to redesign my website, and this is something that I'm actually going to be working on now in the next few weeks. And with Squarespace, it's just so easy to not only create a website, but then also to modify it as you go and change the template, change the full look of it, change the fonts, the background colors. You can give a whole new atmosphere with Squarespace, and without it being too difficult, and you don't need any like background and like web development or anything like that. Squarespace is an amazing place if you want to have a blog or an online portfolio with, you know, photography or anything that you want to share out with the world. If you want to open an online store, or if you just opened or are planning to open a new business and want a web page for people to land on. If you want to give it a try, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And if you're ready to go and want to launch your website, you can go to squarespace.com/Chloe. That link will offer you a 10% discount on your first purchase of a website or a domain at Squarespace.